There we go. So good afternoon. My name is Jeff Sasagawa. I work for Cisco Systems in the Service Provider Video Technology Group. Part of my responsibility is for the consumer electronic ecosystem within this platform we call Videoscape. And so first I'd like to thank the sponsors for inviting me to talk on behalf of Cisco about the Videoscape solution and smart devices. The industry has been talking about this notion of TV everywhere and the connected devices for a long, long time. I can remember back when I was at Microsoft delivering a set-top box with DVR for DirecTV, and I would speak at conferences. I would talk about multi-room DVR. I would talk about this interactive new TV services for the set-top box, and then I was comparing it to the consumer devices. Back then it was a PC, but delivering video to these consumer devices, and I was comparing it. And that was back actually in 2001. So it's been 10 years of industry talking about TV everywhere and connected devices. A lot has changed. We have smartphones, we have tablets. A lot is the, I guess it has its mindset of its own. A lot has not changed. And the challenges for the connected TV marketplace and for the service provider is really about bridging the gap between the two. And so what Cisco's Videoscape solution enables is a bridge to these two different worlds. It allows the new experiences that we were talking about to be experienced on any device, whether it is a set-top box or a CE device like a smart TV. And so Cisco Videoscape is a platform that delivers that. My first portion of my discussion will be on how Videoscape adds value to the service provider, and then the second half I'll talk about how Videoscape bridges these two worlds together so you can have the experiences that we talked about. And some of the points that I'll address here were covered at the panel, but I'll try and make sure we hit the key points here. So global drivers for this marketplace can be separated into these different categories. More devices. The forecast for 2015 is 15 billion device connections. That's 15 billion. That's more than 2 device connections per person on the globe. And in terms of internet users, there are forecasted in 2015, 3 billion users. That's a lot of folks watching a lot of video. And of course, with that is required this faster broadband speed that was talked about by Reed Hastings in the keynote as well as on the panel, but there will be more and more higher bandwidth. In fact, it's supposed to be a 4-fold increase going to from, on average, 8 megabits going to 28 megabits per second per home. And in addition to that, you'd expect these richer services, rich media content being delivered. For some reason, this is, let's see if I can control this correctly. We predict in 2015 a million video minutes per second crossing the network. 1 million video minutes per second. It's a lot of bandwidth. And so if we look at, if I do this right, if we look at the IP traffic, it's mainly, as you'd expect, in North America and Europe, but really where the growth opportunity is and where it's really the key region, it's about Asia, Asia-Pac. And I'm not saying that just because I'm in Korea, although it's probably a smart thing to say. The market is really driven by the population in Asia-Pac and also the types of devices that are being developed in Asia. As you know, the smartphone, the tablets, the connected TV, it's really driven out of Asia-Pac and driven out of Korea. If you look at the market numbers, we're seeing in 2015 for Korea, the average broadband speed will increase from around 29 29 megabits per second to almost 100 megabits per second in 2015. And for the mobile world, we're seeing the forecast of 5 megabits per second for mobile devices. Huge bandwidth for just mobile. I mean, that's more than most of my neighbors have for their broadband to the home. So Korea really is the center point, as you'd expect for these connected devices and connected TVs. But it's more than just the speeds and feeds. It's the applications. It's the services. So let me walk through the service evolution of TV solutions. As I said in the beginning, and as I said at the panel, there is a disparity between the services you can have on a connected consumer electronic device, like a TV, versus what's on the pay TV. Many of the services that I'll show here are available on a connected TV. They're available on a smartphone. They're available on a tablet. But for the most part, for the pay TV, the services are lagging. And there's different reasons for that, but they're lagging. So I wanted to highlight how we see the service evolution for the pay TV marketplace. So as you'd expect, linear IPTV is available today. Next is a richer user interface, a UI, a richer user experience, the UX, more graphical and a better experience. That will move into this world of pay TV solutions. And then recommendations and search and targeted ads. Today in North America, for example, most of the pay TV subscribers have access to recommendation. But if you look at some of the parks analysts, their studies, it's not really used. Pay TV on VOD types of downloads are less than once per month. Part of the reason in their findings was because the recommendation engines weren't as efficient as they should be. People weren't finding content that they wanted. With the next generation solution of recommendation engines, the effectiveness will change. Targeted ads will become much more pervasive. It'll change the way we find content to view. The next one is the multi-screen device. It's more than just using the phone or tablet as a remote. It's more than just using the phone and tablet as a playback device. It's more of these types of companion-like experiences, companion-like devices. For example, when I wake up every morning, I have coffee for breakfast. I take my tablet and I look at the news, and I'll watch a video clip. And then sometimes I'll find a video clip that I want to view on my big screen TV. So wouldn't it be nice if I could watch it on my tablet, fling it over to the big screen TV, and watch it in high def in the big screen TV. After I'm finished, I can just fling it back onto my tablet or phone and continue with that experience. It's the seamless experience of being able to go to and from these different devices. It's also about the commerce. I mean, that's available today on virtually every tablet and smart TV, but it's not on the pay TV boxes. That will become more pervasive when you have this communication, this two-way communication between the box, the set-top box, and the cloud types of services. Cloud DVR will also be available, and that's not only allowing these devices to play back content in any room, but also to have it to play back outside the home, in the mobile environment. And then beyond that, you can also have the ability to offer new experiences where in a DVR storage, I typically run out of storage in our box at our house. And it's partly because my daughter is constantly recording her cartoons and her content and constantly, I think, deleting my golf and my football games. But wouldn't it be nice if I could set a recording and then automatically be able to increase the storage and be able to increase it, double it, or just increase it enough so I can have enough content storage and not lose the content that I want to record. So with cloud computing, there's different types of features beyond just playing back that can be enabled, and the monetization of that will benefit the ecosystem. And then seamless online content, we talked about this at the panel. It's the notion of being able to find the content that you want to watch and not, as a consumer, worry about whether it is from my service provider or it's available on an online provider over the top. You don't really care where it's from. You just want the flexibility to be able to choose that content and be able to play it back. So it's seamless. You don't have to go in and out of an application. You can have it all available to you in a program guide. Advanced interactive advertising, or this device synchronization. That is a very interesting application where you can now enjoy what's on the TV, on the large screen TV, and be able to enhance that experience by having ads or additional information sent to your tablet or to your phone. So in the past, interactive TV has been somewhat the experience has been limited because if you want to get more information, they place it on the 10-foot viewing screen and interrupts your TV viewing experience. With the device synchronization or advanced interactive advertising, you can have the experience where you're watching, let's say this weekend there was a President's Cup, and watching different players play. If you're watching Tiger Woods or any of the golfers, you might see that they're using a certain new golf club, and you may want to know more about that. So wouldn't it be nice to have that information? Wouldn't it be nice if the recommendation engine knew that you were a golf fan and sent to your iPad or your phone while you're watching the tournament a banner that says, find out more information about the driver, and click it, and be able to have that information readily available to view when you're watching the tournament or to view afterwards. But it doesn't take up the screen, any of the screen that's on your 10-foot viewing environment. So it enhances the experience. And so you can apply that to not only advertisements, you can apply that to other information. That you can find out who is leading the tournament as opposed to waiting for that to come up on the screen. So that's a next generation experience. And another one is video conferencing. Video conferencing is available on the smart TVs today for free. And that's really mainly driven by consumer-to-consumer experience. So grandma talking to the grandchildren and having that interaction. But going forward, there will be opportunities that I think will continue to allow the video conferencing world to grow, where it's more consumer to business and business to consumer. So that at the comfort of your couch, you can now talk to your doctor, you can talk to your consultant, you can talk to your tutor, you can talk to other businesses at the comfort of your couch and the security of your couch and be able to interact. So it's really an untapped marketplace, but it's more of a B2C and C2B type of experience. And so that also is on the roadmap for these solutions. So what is Videoscape? Videoscape is about an experience that takes all of those services I talked about and integrates it into one type of experience, but also makes it more intuitive, more social. It makes it more mobile and integrates it into a common experience where it's independent of all of the content, whether it's over the top or service provider. It makes it independent of whether it's unmanaged or managed networks and brings it all to these different devices. So you can enjoy your TV experience with the same type of user interface, with the same type of user experience. For example, my wife, she knows how to use her PC, she knows how to use a TV, and she knows how to use her phone. But if I were to ask her to use a different application and a different UI on all these devices just to watch TV, she's not going to do it. Consumers expect to have a seamless, intuitive user interface for all of their devices to watch TV. So Videoscape allows that experience to occur, and the way it's enabled is this end-to-end architecture. It's a cloud infrastructure, client-based solution that allows for these experiences For the cloud components, I have a couple examples. The Media Suite, we acquired a company called Extend Media, and that's a content management solution that manages your content for the service provider or the content provider and allows it to be published. So all of this rich video and the things that go along with it, like a virtual DVD. If you notice, when you have a DVD, you can play the movie, but it also has these video outtakes, it has music videos, it has music, it has games, it has applications. All this content that comes with certain video types, all this rich metadata needs to be managed so you can present it via a user interface to the consumer. The Media Suite allows that to happen. It also addresses the entitlement, ensuring that the user and the device is entitled to have that content. So that's one cloud component. It works in concert with Acquisition Suite, which we acquired a company called Inlet Technologies, which does the transcoding for VOD, for VOD. It does also the real-time transcoding for linear and does the encapsulation. So you can provide the ABR solutions, adaptive bitrate solutions, to stream content to these different devices and to make the experience, to maximize the experience and quality to these different devices depending on the network constraints. So that's a highlight of the cloud components. We also have in the network infrastructure for a service provider the Cisco CDS, the Content Delivery System, which is a hierarchical type of caching. It caches within the infrastructure and to the home to optimize the quality and the experience of video playback and other types of content. And then in the client side, as I mentioned, the client hardware is important. It allows you to, for the IP set-top box, it allows for these experiences to occur. So the requirement is for the IP set-top box, there's much more higher performance processors, SoCs, better graphical types of engines, and the end result is a better user experience and a user interface. Along with that are the soft clients that we offer, and I'll focus the second half of the discussion on that. That's software that's downloadable to any device, to a phone, to a tablet, to a TV. And then the media gateways, another key hardware component, allows the content to come into the home, whether it is an IP-based or a QAM-based solution. So it gives the flexibility of providing video and other content via a legacy QAM source or an IP and distributes it throughout the home so that every device can enjoy that type of content and that type of experience. And there's a common software across all of these devices, whether it is a set-top box, a gateway, or a soft client for a smart TV. It's common software. And that enables this Cisco conductor. It's a control plane. It is the way that the cloud interacts with the infrastructure and the devices. It gives intelligence. It allows communication. It's based on XMPP, which is used for instant messaging for many of the large instant messaging services, and allows this two-way communication to the devices from the cloud. Another way to show the features is that the Cisco conductor allows, for example, the legacy infrastructure today and the controlling and the device management is tightly coupled to the set-top boxes. And that is changing because the solutions are moving more toward IP, and you also have all these unmanaged devices that are now wanting to connect to these services, the linear TV. The conductor allows that to happen. So if the service provider has a tablet or a TV connected to their service and they get a phone call, they want to know more information. They want to have the diagnostics available to be able to support, to manage the support calls. And also, it will enable these next generation applications. Because you have this two-way communication, because you have the presence, you can imagine different types of social networking, different types of analytics, advanced advertising to be enabled, to allow video conferencing to occur as well, because now you have presence. You can tell if someone is online and you can communicate to them. So there's all these new services that can be enabled for not only the set-top box, but for the connected TV as well. And so let's talk about consumer devices like the smart TV and what the requirements are. Job one is that these devices want to have the premium pay TV content. You want to be able to use your smart TV and not only watch the over-the-top content, but you want to watch the premium content that you're paying for from the service provider. So Videoscape allows that to happen for any device. It also allows you to have the experiences that I mentioned by companion device, by being able to use this as remote control. And it's not just a CE device controlling a set-top box. It's a CE device like a tablet controlling a connected TV. So it allows all the different devices in this ecosystem to interact and to work together and offer a better experience. And it's also about delivering optimizations in terms of video quality throughout the networks. And so there's two camps that we talked about, two different worlds. One is the CE world, the other is the SP. A lot of challenges are in front of us to make this all work. One is, like I said, you want to have a consistent interface across all the different devices. In order to do that, you need to have the hooks in the software to the cloud to be able to offer this unique user interface and experience. You want to have premium content security. You need to know what types of DRMs are supported on these devices because you'll want to have the right ABR and DRM combination streamed to this device. You want to know what type of video formats it enables and what's native on this device so you can stream the right level of content to it, the right resolution, for example. There's also multicast support requirements. In many of the services, they're streaming multicast. These devices don't support multicast. So there needs to be a way to translate multicast to unicast in the cloud or even in the home. So these are a few of the key challenges from a technical point of view. If you look at the partnership challenges, these are just as big, if not larger. The need for the customization so that all these different devices can work and connect to these different services are required. So for example, if you have a connected TV, there's many different manufacturers today. And within the manufacturer, there's different types of family of products. To ensure that those devices can connect to a service provider, there's that customization that needs to be done. And then if you look at the entire objective of trying to connect all of these devices to all of these services, the combinations become overwhelming. The customization required to have the software customized and user interface to all these different service providers and devices, the scalability is not there. You cannot do that individually as a CE manufacturer, as a service provider. You need to have a common platform. So the challenges are customization. There's challenges from a partnership point of view. There are big giant companies and leaders in this marketplace that need to reach certain business agreements and business models. That's a challenge, obviously, when you talk about industry leaders. The disparate software platform amongst all these different CE devices is another challenge. So what Videoscape does in this end-to-end architecture, this platform, it allows all these different devices to write to one type of platform that is agnostic of the CE company, and as well as it allows the SPs to take advantage of this architecture. So you can actually deploy any device, any content. And so, for an example, on the smart TV side, if you take a manufacturer, they have the software and they can write that software for a service provider. They can enable that to happen. But as I said in the panel, consumers buy different types of products, different brands. They might buy a Samsung brand, a LG, a Sony, an Apple. So even if the device manufacturer has a capability of using their platform to connect to the service provider, you're not going to have a consistent experience as a consumer with all these different brand products at your home. You want to be able to have that. And so having Videoscape available for that enables this consistent experience and allows the scalability. On the same hand, for the service provider, they don't have the resources to go customize their solutions for every single CE device out there. They don't have the resources to do that. So Videoscape allows that to happen. And so with our soft client solution, we allow the platform to enable, sorry about this, we allow the platform, the Videoscape platform, to enable these different types of cloud computing experiences, and the software is consistent across these CE devices. The software is consistent with the set-top boxes. And with that common layer of software, which enables the conductor types of experiences, you can offer the user interface and services across all these different devices. You can optimize for the content security and for the content format, because you can change, if required, the DRM schemes. You can change the different resolutions. You can change the different adaptive bit rates in the cloud, because you have that communication between the devices, as well as the advanced services that I talked about, which would require this type of architecture. And so, in summary, it's about this exponential growth of devices and users. It's about this exponential growth in terms of these different types of deployments. It's also about having the objective to have a consistent user interface across all these devices. And one of the key challenges is having these two worlds work together and agree on certain business models, agree on certain terms, and to be able to have this interchange of content, premium content, to these different devices. And Videoscape as a platform enables this to happen from a technology point of view, from a partnership point of view, as well as from an end-to-end architecture and point of view. So thank you.